What's going on, everybody? And we are back live right here on the 10-7 show for yet another episode. Welcome back. Check out the 10-7 podcast on Spreaker, Spotify, and all that good stuff. Google. Did I tell y'all that we are on Google now?
No, you definitely
we are
didn't.
on. It's been a couple weeks. We are on Google now. So shout out to that. We finally I had to redo everything. Google, Spotify, Apple, Spreaker, a whole bunch of other ones too that people don't never talk about, but we're on those two. But we're also right here on YouTube, so subscribe to the YouTube channel while you're here. Join us on Facebook, the 10-7 group on Facebook. And for the first time, we are on Twitch as well.
Yay!
Okay, so what's up to everybody watching on Twitch? Everybody checking us out on Twitch, thank you for coming. And so like I always start every show, how have y'all been?
We're good.
Yeah, I'm good.
We made it to August.
I'm looking forward to the next weekend already.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm looking forward. I'm off Thursday and Friday this week. I can't wait. I have a big presentation coming up at work. I want to get that done and hit the beach.
Oh, fun.
That's what's up.
Okay. Enjoy.
Cool.
We'll be here living in Groundhog Day.
Wow.
Okay.
You enjoy the beach.
How are you, Jay Chris?
I'm always good. Even when I'm bad, I'm good. That's just what it is.
I like it.
See? You see how she hating? You see that face? That hating face?
I'm always good.
But that hating, I'm always good. Even I smile on my off days. So you gotta keep the haters at bay. I don't have any haters. I ain't doing good enough yet. But with that all being said, it's time for. I keep getting a tickle on my nose. I think I got allergies right now or something. With all that being said, it's time for everybody's favorite part of the show, and that is, would you rather? I feel like a game show host when I do that. Would you rather? So, I think we have a few would you rathers today, and who has? I think both Tara and Tyra both have a would you rather, at least one.
Yeah.
So who wants to go first?
I think you can go first, Tyra. I think I went first the last time.
All right. So mine is a silly would you rather, but it's going to get you to thinking. Would you rather have banana-sized fingers or banana-sized toes?
What?
Banana-sized toes. Banana-sized fingers.
Well, I would like to say Goose already has banana-sized hands, so he's covered on that one.
Banana-sized toes.
Why? Why banana-sized toes?
Because I can wear shoes all the time.
And what kind of shoes are you gonna get if
your shoes gonna be mad expensive?
Yeah.
Listen,
I don't know.
That's better than people staring at me everywhere I go.
Slap them with your banana hands.
What is the 5 fingers straight to the face?
Like, how are you going to be in slides and flip flops with your banana toes?
I just wouldn't wear slides and flip flops.
Let them Jones scrape on the ground.
I would find me a size 18 water shoe.
A size 18 water shoe. Okay.
They got them. Amazon has everything.
Yeah, Amazon does have everything. You can buy a small country.
We're not advertising Amazon because they're not paying us.
Oh, they got enough money.
Yeah, that's true. Somebody just clicked off to go to Amazon just now.
I don't know if I would. I think I would do hands, y'all. I think I would do.
Really?
Hands. Yeah.
I would do hands.
I mean, I have so many cute shoes that I wouldn't be able to wear if I had banana toes.
See, because this is the thing that y'all are not getting. At least this is how I'm seeing it. It says banana-sized fingers. So your palm is still the same size, but your fingers are bananas.
Oh.
Okay. So we got some people commenting. We got Brian Washington said I think he said banana-sized toes.
That's toes.
And toes. And Sheena said banana hands. I just can't. I don't know. I'm so torn because if I had banana-sized fingers, like what would I be able to grip? Like I would think I would grip everything. I say banana-sized toes.
I'd be able to grip the biggest of the butts.
Oh my
with
God.
Banana hands.
Biggest of the butt.
Listen,
Sheena said banana hands too.
First of all, the ladies that are saying banana hands,
yeah,
y'all have an ulterior motive there also.
Oh my God.
Bananas have that natural curve.
Oh yeah.
I wasn't even thinking that. I wasn't even thinking that. No, I changed my mind to the toes. I'm going with toes. Nope, not doing it. I'm going with toes. Because if I'm like, just leave me alone, Goose will be like, what are you doing with your hands? Where are your fingers?
Show me your hands. No. Put your hands up.
No,
I'm definitely going with hands. I'm gonna have to get custom made shoes and pay extra for them. I'm cheap, so.
Well, then what you gonna do in the wintertime? You can't get
the same thing I do with my hands now. I don't wear gloves now.
Yo, listen, the other thing about it is with banana-sized fingers, what pockets are you going to fucking put them Jones in?
I walk around with a satchel or whatever that thing's called.
You got Crown Royal bags over your head.
Exactly.
You know what I wouldn't be able to wear those little finger condoms they got at the cash registers though.
No,
I had to put a regular condom on my finger.
Oh, that's nasty.
You know how much
don't be sliding.
Yeah.
No.
Feet. I'm sticking with feet.
I'm going with feet too.
I'm sticking with feet.
I'm out. I'm going with feet.
I changed my mind. I'm back to the feet.
Yeah. All right. Okay. All right. You ready for the next one?
Grabbing of the buttocks.
Can I eat my candy?
No, I'm pretty good with the ones with the hands I got now.
I mean, if you want to eat your candy, please have at it.
All right.
Tanya said, let's just say toes.
Exactly. Yeah, that's where I'm at.
That works. I'm with you, Tanya. Yeah, I can put them in some Timbs and nobody would ever know that my toes are jacked.
Walking around in some clown shoes, looking like Bozo or It or somebody. Or what's his name? Penny Packer? What's his name?
No, Pennywise.
Pennywise. Oh Lord.
What you got, Tara?
Okay. Would you rather have the ability to read other people's minds or the ability to control things using your mind?
Oh.
Control things using my mind. Because then I can control other people's minds and I already know what they think.
Absolutely. That's where I was too.
Yeah.
I would say control other people's minds.
Give me your money.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah.
With my banana hands, bring me your money.
Listen, if I had that power, the first thing I do is set up a post outside the White House. I got work to do, y'all.
I'll
be right at the credit bureau. Delete all of my debts. Okay.
Yes. Get rid of my student loans, please. Yes.
Loans. Give me an 800 credit score.
There you go.
Yeah, right?
Yep.
Look.
And look at Sheena control other people's
minds.
Sheena's that control of you. Yeah.
I mean, because if you could do that, either or, you could get them to give you
write
money.
your own ticket. You control people's minds. Like,
absolutely.
No brainer.
Like what? You don't want to give me that?
Did we have more?
I had more. I don't know if y'all want to. If you want me to do one more,
let's do one more.
Okay. All right. Would you rather have the ability to breathe underwater or the ability to see at night as though it was daytime?
Breathe underwater.
Breathe underwater.
Because then you eliminate one way you can die.
Well, that's true.
God, you thought so deep into that. I was thinking about Aquaman.
Breathe underwater. You know what? Yo, I could go diving for shipwrecks and all kind of stuff.
Ooh, you can make money.
Find me some gold doubloons and all that.
Yeah, but it's just gold doubloons. Get the
now he's a goonie. I'm gonna go with the ability to see at night as though it were daytime.
No, why?
Yeah, I don't know.
Where you going at? Where you going nighttime?
I don't know. Yeah. Wherever I may need to go, I will be able to see when I get there.
I was thinking about Aquaman.
Like
she looking for Jason Momoa. That's what her ass do.
Oh, is that what you're doing?
No, I just
yes, she is. It's all right. You can say it.
I like that whole concept of the whole little underwater world. But see, I would have to be able to move like them to get away from the sharks. Because you can breathe underwater, but if you can't outswim a shark, then Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly. Exactly. All right, you ready to get into it, guys?
Let's get into it.
Let's get into it. Let's do it.
Okay. So none of y'all read the article, right? This is me telling you what's happening.
I read one of the articles.
Okay.
I like to have a natural reaction.
Yeah, I mean, I agree too. But all right, so I read it and I kind of like took some notes, and then I'm just gonna do how we usually do. I'll a little bit and then get y'all's opinion on how you feel about it.
Okay.
So this week's topic is: are humans meant to be monogamous? Why did we become monogamous? So it starts off by saying that modern culture tells us that each person has their one perfect partner to share their lives with, unless you're Elizabeth Taylor, who was married 8 times. Although polygamy is practiced in various, although polygamy is practiced in various cultures, humans still tend towards monogamy. But it was not always the norm among our ancestors. And y'all probably already know this. It says that other primates, the mammalian group to which humans belong, are still polygamous. Right, hon?
Mm-hmm.
The modern monogamous culture has only been around for just 1,000 years, according to an evolutionary anthropologist at University College of London.
Well, 1,000 years is not a long time, though. When you
right. That's what the article is saying. It's only been 1,000 years that humans have been monogamous. So that's what Goose is saying. That's not a long time. As early as 75 million years ago, primates lived solitarily in preferred isolation, and adults would only come together to mate. Sorry. It goes on to say that as time passed, primates as a whole became more social and evolved to live together in groups. But only humans became truly monogamous. Other primate species, such as chimps, mate with multiple individuals in their group. Why did that happen? That humans do that too. I mean, like, we like to say we're monogamous, but are we really? You know what I mean? Like, it's...
We better be. You better be.
No, So what I was going to say was... I am, but that is a decision that you have to make. Yeah. Like, there are people who say they're monogamous, but they're not. They truly are not, right? Okay, so it says current theories suggest that humans became monogamous because it comes down to preservation of individuals' health and the health of their offspring.
Okay.
And then I said this to Goose even before I read the article, that STDs played a role in it. Like, before I read this article to him, I was like, I wonder if diseases help us to say, I'm just going to be with one partner. You know what I mean? Instead of multiple partners, and then it spreads. So it says, as group size grew among human societies from tens to hundreds, and then on to thousands, and then on to millions, so may have the occurrence of STDs. So it says that scientists using mathematical models to simulate an evolution of different mating norms find that when societies become larger, STDs become a regular occurrence. So we all
right, because everybody
within the population, right? Because everybody's doing everybody. They suggest that the rise in STDs would have put social pressure on humans to stay monogamous in terms of their mating behavior. What do y'all think about that?
So it's only because of STDs that they're monogamous? I disagree with that.
One theory.
That's one theory.
Well, what do you what's your thought on it, though?
I think monogamy is a choice, and I think that, like, as
it absolutely is.
Human beings, since they say we evolved, and we evolved our thought patterns, that some of us chose to be monogamous because monogamy is considered safe.
What do you mean it's considered safe?
Well, you're safe from disease.
So
it's like emotionally safe.
Right. So that's what they're saying. way back when, when diseases STDs first started sprouting up, that is when the idea of monogamy, so they're saying, it came about, one of the theories.
Right. So that was just one.
So out of necessity for your health, people would choose monogamy. Because you clean, I'm clean, and we just stay together. We stay, both of us, and stay clean.
But look at how evolved we are now, and people are not choosing to do that. I mean, there are plenty of STDs that are still really prevalent, people are aware of them,
and they wear a mask.
Exactly.
Right. Exactly. So,
but see,
I guess we're not as evolved as we thought we were.
I don't think it's that. I think it's a matter of self-control. I think human beings, period, have a problem with self-control. You know what I mean? And that's why it's like self-control is a choice. Like when you get married or you're in a relationship, it's always you're not blind. You're gonna see other people that's attractive to you. You know what I mean?
Right.
You have emotions, but you have to be able to have that self-control to will yourself in. And that's where I think it lies. It lies in a lack of self-control. So because I can't control my loins, let me just go after this person and that person because I don't know how to control myself.
So are you saying, Tyra, are you saying that way back what Tyra's reading about, like 70 million years ago, or whatever it was, that those people lacked the self-control? Because it seems like from what was read, the monogamy came in as a means of a health situation, staying healthy.
Well, that's just one theory.
I think as time has gone on, it has become a thing of stay with one person, stay monogamous, because to protect the heart. You understand what I'm saying? Like it went from a health issue to an issue of the heart.
Right.
Well, see, that the health issue was one thing. What are the other reasons that they say monogamy came about? I mean, I agree with the health issue, but I think it's more than that.
Well, Mike Knox says monogamy is not natural. There are too many men. There are too many men, too many women in the world that are attractive, and we are attracted to them. However, he goes on to say it takes a strong-willed person to practice monogamy for the sake of their marriage or relationship. I agree with that.
I disagree with that. I don't think the amount of people. I think, to me, in my personal opinion, I just think that's I want to have my cake and eat it too self-control issue. It doesn't matter how many people are here. What matters is
when you say that.
But he's saying naturally.
Right, we talk about a natural thing. Right now, you're not talking
monogamy about natural. Monogamy is truly
it is. Monogamy is a choice.
It's a choice, right?
See,
right,
exactly, and that's what he's saying. He was like, "It's too many people. It's too many people in the world for monogamy to be natural. That's why when you make the choice to be monogamous."
But see, I think are we talking
a lot of willpower?
Right, but I think are we talking strictly sex? As far as monogamy, or are we talking a relationship?
And that's another place. That's another place you can take it. That's another place to go.
As it's evolving, so that it goes on to say that in the article, but it as it's evolving, they're just saying that this is one theory that they're looking at how humans evolved from 75 million years ago up to present day. So that's just one theory. There are other theories that touch on that. So I mean,
so that's what I'm saying. Like, are they just me? Somebody said, Solomon has 700 wives, and Solomon went crazy too.
I would go crazy with 700 wives.
Dudes that went crazy with one wife.
Wait a minute. Solomon had 700. How many Will Chamberlain had?
Oh, I don't know. Was he married?
What?
They said Will Chamberlain had like 1,000.
Not his wives.
Wives?
No.
Wives. You can't even have that many wives.
Will Chamberlain had 1,000 entanglements.
Oh, well, that's different.
1,000 entanglements. I'm sure some of these professional sports players and professional music, I'm sure they have thousands and thousands of entanglements.
Oh, absolutely.
But like I said, that's where the self-control comes in. You know what I mean? This is temptation, lust, attractiveness. It's gonna always be there. You can't run from it. You can't hide from it. It's gonna always be there.
I put it all on my Instagram.
Somebody said Wilt had AIDS too. I never heard that before.
Oh, I don't know. We don't want to put that out there. That might. I don't know
that one. Allegedly.
I never heard that one before. But here's the thing. Let me say this real quick before you go ahead. Mm-hmm. Monogamy is a man-made theory, just like a lot of things we have in this world. It's a man-made theory. It derives from what you said, health. It derives from feeling. It was probably created by a man, okay? As in, like, he probably fell for a woman and didn't want her to be with anybody else. It didn't want his heart. Believe that. You know what I mean? So it's completely a man-made rule. Like a lot of the rules we live by, you know, I feel like are man-made, and I feel like that's one of the man-made ones that has just evolved over time.
They are. So this next one, I don't.
No, go ahead. I was gonna say because you rarely see a woman with multiple husbands. I mean, it's out there. It's out there, but it's rare.
You talking about polygamists? You talking about that type?
I'm saying, like, you know, we talk about monogamy, period. You rarely see, you know, people who want to have multiple wives or multiple multiple partners. You rarely see a woman with 5-6 husbands. Rarely. Right.
That would drive me crazy anyway. Like, listen, everybody leave me alone. I don't want 5 or 6 husbands.
You mean at one time or just throughout their life?
No, at one time.
At one time, guys.
At one time.
Yeah.
Listen. Yeah. No, you rarely see. You're absolutely right. I probably have never seen a woman with a bunch of dudes because first of all, I don't think dudes can handle that personally. I mean, I guess there's probably
no, I agree.
Right, but then why do they expect women to handle it?
There are some that do.
Mm-hmm.
There are a lot of women that handle it.
Oh, I know.
The government can't handle it because it's against the law.
Yeah.
But go ahead, Terry. You wanted to.
As soon as they find a way to tax it right, they'll legalize it.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. So it says still other theorists believe that the larger societies stemming from the onset of agriculture and farming resulted in monogamy because people wanted to preserve their wealth through marriage. This school of thought makes it seem like monogamy is a marriage system and not a mating system. What do y'all think about that?
You said marriage?
Yeah,
a marriage system.
Monogamy is a marriage system. And not a mating system.
It probably came about from marriage, right? Probably came about from marriage, and then as time goes on, and people like to act like they're married in relationships,
right?
It became one of those things in a relationship, a non-married relationship, where how you going? You know, you can't go out and be with this other person. You're supposed to be with me. So I agree with that. It came from a marriage thing. Absolutely.
Tyra, what do you think?
I agree with that too. Especially even like you know, with laws, you know what I mean? We have laws that are put in place where you benefit financially from being married. So
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so then this next theory, I buy into 100%, and I think that this is how it came to be.
Mm-hmm. When you told me.
When I told you, and Goose and I had this conversation earlier. Okay, so and you said something pretty profound, and I hope you remember. Yes.
You can repeat.
Okay, so or is it about fatherhood? Okay. In a 2013 paper on monogamy, it was argued that monogamy came about so males could protect their infants. And the way this story goes is, as primates developed and became more social, their brain size grew to accommodate this increased complexity over time. This in turn meant the brains of infants were larger than previous generations, and required more attention and lactation from their mothers, resulting in females being less readily available to males to mate again after giving birth. Males were sitting around waiting to mate with the female. It could therefore pay for the man to kill the infant so he could mate. I know this sounds crazy. So he could mate with the female. As the fathers want their offspring to survive, they would nurture and protect them as necessary by pairing up. I believe that theory.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and Goose said he probably doesn't remember it because he's been drinking, but Goose said probably how you would see like all those commercials and skits where like the guy would club the woman over the head and drag her away, like you're mine now. You know what I mean? Like, it makes, when after I read this, I was like, that makes sense to me. I'm going with that theory.
Yeah, because but it's crazy. You know what I'm saying? So
to protect the child, yeah.
Yep. Like he made.
Right.
So I was saying he mates with the woman.
She have a child.
She has a child, but typically she would go mate with somebody else.
Right.
But now the child, he would kill the child. Ain't nobody gonna take care of the child. I ain't gonna do it.
Right. So the other male
he does is he's like, oh, you just had my baby. You're not going nowhere.
Yeah.
Now it's you and me.
So it's like you protecting the species.
So now the woman is still around to care for the child while the man go out and hunt and gather.
I'm going with that theory.
I don't know, because that's like, I know like in the lion's pride, when he wants to, like if an alpha male comes and challenges, a male comes and challenges the alpha male of the pride, right? And he wins. Mm-hmm. He kills all the babies and mates with all the women. And sometimes the lionesses will fight that male who won to protect their children and go off and have a pride without a male. So I don't know.
That's so sad.
Yeah. A male lion will come in and kill all the young ones. So I think it may be a primate thing, not so much because it's different, in different animal cultures. Right. But I know the male lion. That's what he was saying. Right.
Yeah, that's what I was just saying. Like we're talking primates,
mammals.
Right. Mammals. Yeah.
So can I tell an animal story now? Because I got one that's kind of funny.
Absolutely.
Right? So I'm watching one of them channels, Nat Geo, whatever it was, and they were talking about these monkeys, right? That they actually walk around. They look like lions or whatever, but they're monkeys. And the monkey has a harem, has a bunch of women, and has had kids with a bunch of these women monkeys. So what happens is during the mating season, a group of monkeys comes to take on the alpha monkey, the one that runs the harem, and they fight for days. And what happens is the group is going to win, right? The group ends up winning all the time. And what happens is they don't even kill the alpha monkey. It's kind of messed up. They make the alpha monkey watch the kids while the other monkey, the group of monkeys, is over there banging his women.
What? Wait.
What is this show called? I have to look this up. What is
that look like lions, first of all.
They look like lions. The way their hair grow, they look like lions. And when they run around, they run on all fours.
Are they chimpanzees?
No, they're not chimpanzees. Like they're big. They're kind of big. They're not gorillas, but they're smaller than gorillas, but bigger than the regular monkey.
The one
the alpha male watches the kids.
The alpha when they showed it, the alpha male was like grooming the kid, right? You know how they take the bugs out and eat them? Yeah. Just grooming the kid, and then he looks to the side like, man, y'all banging my women. Like, yo, it was
Well, you say that happens once a year?
What during the mating season or something like that?
Oh my goodness! I know koalas are mess too. Koalas go and they go into other groups and they rape the women. Like they snatch them up, and koalas are beasts and they spread STDs. Koala bears ain't nothing to play with. Koala bears ain't nothing to play with. They're very temperamental. Don't fool with them. But they go and rape the other women, and they go and rape them. snatch them up in the tree. I was like, I'm glad I'm human.
Well, all right.
You got any more of this article?
Oh yeah, so that was it for that article that I found on CNN that was talking about it. But I do have another article where they talked to 5 different experts, or actually I think it might be 6. 5 different experts, and so each expert gave their opinion on why they think that humans are, well, whether we are or aren't meant to be monogamous. So do you want me to touch on that?
Sure. Just give like a brief touch on what each person said.
Okay. So the first expert, he is a PhD and he wrote a book called Sex at Dawn. His name is Christopher Ryan. Sex at Dawn: How We Mate, Why We Stray, and What It Means for Modern Relationships. He basically said humans did not evolve to be a sexually monogamous species, which is evident by the fact that we rarely only have one sexual partner for our entire life. He says having one partner at a time isn't monogamy. It actually fits into the category of serial polygyny. Remember we talked about this one time before, Tyra? Polygyny?
Yeah.
So according to him, humans have sex hundreds of times for every baby conceived, as opposed to other animals that have a ratio closer to 12-1. He says we have sex when the female isn't even ovulating, or with no female even involved. Basically, we have sex for reasons other than procreation, and the human desire to experiment is far too great to limit ourselves to one sexual partner in our lives. I agree with that. Because we all had sex before marriage. I mean, let's be clear.
I don't even know why. What you read, everything was standing out before. Everything was standing out, but once you said they even have sex without a female there, I don't know why that stood out to me.
Well, because
I know exactly.
You have sex with yourself. Like, I mean, it makes sense.
But is it sex with yourself? I don't think it's sex. Like, I don't know. It depends on
why isn't it sex?
It's a sexual act.
Okay, a sexual act.
Sexual act. You might have to turn that light on. We're getting dark.
It's getting off.
It's getting off. Yeah.
Well, yeah.
So I think maybe humans are more, like animals and stuff. They primarily mate to have sex. I meant to procreate. Humans mate for the feeling of it. We mate because it feel good.
Oh
Lord. Ooh. Y'all having some. I'm sorry, y'all. The sun's going down. We're having some lighting issues. Give us a minute.
Oh no! I don't know. It looks good on me. Goose looks really bright. I don't know what's happening.
All right, so we have somebody commented and said that monogamy is about control.
It totally is. Absolutely, it totally is about control.
I can see that.
Control of yourself.
Control of yourself or control of the other person.
Yeah, but it's the control is mutual. At least it should be. You know what I'm saying? It's like an agreement.
Right.
I agree to control myself.
Well, marriage is an agreement. Marriage is a contract.
Right. Marriage is a contractual agreement. Right.
Yeah.
All right. So what are the other other 4?
Okay, so the next guy or girl, I'm sorry, Stephanie Coons. She wrote a book called A History and Family Studies: The Way We Never Were, American Families and the Nostalgia Trap. She says that humans weren't necessarily meant to be monogamous or polyamorous. We have impulses towards both. And that was one of the shows that we did last week, how women midlife decide that they want to be with other women. And our culture dictates our ultimate decisions. She talks about the different cultural standards for monogamy across the world, including the United States, where she says we are trying to figure out how to combine long-term romantic relationships with the plethora of opportunities for other forms of sexual or romantic entanglement. She said this a long time ago, before Jada or whoever the heck it was made it possible.
Okay.
And different people are making different choices. She argues that we have choices when it comes to our sexual behavior, and biology doesn't necessarily dictate it at all on the level that people think. Yeah, that's good. Yeah. What do you think about that, guys?
You said a lot.
You know,
I'm not saying that was a lot. Yeah, I don't so much agree with that.
Okay.
I don't so much agree with
that. I mean, I don't know.
So we was just made to be. So basically, she's saying we was made to be sexually fluid. So does that include? Does that include sex with animals?
Okay, now you're going too far.
But I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, where does it end? Where does it end?
Well, I mean, I don't.
With humans?
I don't know. I don't know anybody personally that I think would want to have sex with animals, and if they did, I don't want them to tell me about it.
There was a lady in the news who killed her kids so she could have sex with the dog.
Wait, I'm sorry. Now what?
There was a lady in the news who killed her kids, and she said something else. She lied about it, but she was having sex with her dog. That's why I'm like, where does this whole sexual thing, where does it end?
Well, so if she was having sex with her dog, that's a mental health issue, and she needs more help than any
animals. It's a lot of people that have sex with animals.
I mean, I know it's people that have sex with animals, but you can't you can't marry a dog. Like, you know what I'm saying? You can't marry a goat. You can have sex with a goat.
It's people that get blow up dolls. I've seen shows where this guy gets himself a little plastic doll who marry her.
Human being. No, we're none of that. We're talking for the purposes of this show. We're talking human being to human being, nothing else. Okay. So let's stick to that. Everything else,
let's get that out
is not in my wheelhouse. I don't know. Okay, so the third expert, also a PhD, Elizabeth Sheff. She's the author of a book called The Polyamorous Next Door: Inside Multiple Partner Relationships and Families. And what she says is, because monogamy takes so many social structures to exist, it can't really be naturally occurring and inherent, like blinking, breathing, or wanting to speak to our children. She says it seems more natural for humans to want a personal harem, so each of us get to enjoy sexual variety, but insist on sexual exclusivity for our lovers, so we don't have to deal with jealousy. I totally agree with that.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Oh yeah, I can agree with that.
Yeah, I can agree with that.
Was that the last one? The last expert.
Monogamy keeps me free.
Monogamy keeps Goose from going to jail. Is what me being monogamous keeps Goose from going to jail.
Yeah. That's what you call a good
thing. A lot
of
brothers from going to jail.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Keeps a lot of brothers from going to jail.
Yeah, it does.
This is true.
Every day I got
to fight. This one is the one that I was telling you guys before the show.
I got to fight. Oh my God, I'm sorry, y'all. It's a fly in here, and it's driving me nuts.
All right. Sorry. This is the one that I was telling you guys before we went on air that, like, I read it and I crossed it out. I was like, I don't agree with that, but I'll read it so I can get y'all's opinion on it. The fourth expert, he's a professor, David Brash. He's a professor at the University of Washington, and he's the author of several books on the topics of sex, evolution, and infidelity. He says that we aren't naturally inclined towards monogamy, and that monogamy itself is a recent societal creation. Men and women are both inclined to seek multiple sexual partners for a variety of biological reasons. He does concede, however, that complications can arise with non-monogamous relationships and lifestyles, as they can with any way of living, especially in societies that impose it as a standard. He leaves us with a positive thought on the topic. Perhaps what makes human beings special is our ability to do things that are unnatural, whether those things are obsolete or, like monogamy, are socially imposed and thus new to our evolutionary experience. What do y'all think about that?
I think it kind of goes to what I said earlier about how it's a man-made theory, I guess.
I think I'm different. I'm separating the sex from the love. You know what I mean? I think we are naturally we can naturally love one person forever. But I think when they talk about this, to me, in my mind, they just purely mean sex. Like, can you love all these people, or is it just a sexual thing?
What about people who are married more than one time?
Yeah.
What about people that have 2 and 3 marriages and offspring out of all of those marriages? So you're saying that they only
but they
ever
weren't married. No, I'm just saying they weren't married all at one time. You know what I mean? Like you wasn't married to this one, all at the same time.
Right. But if we go by what you're saying, then the first person you marry is the one, your true love, and that's the one you're only ever going to love.
No, that's not what I'm saying. Okay. I'm saying like when they talk about monogamy, I feel like they're talking about sexual monogamy and not so much the love. This fly is on my nerves. He keeps flying in front of me on camera.
Maybe you smell good. We can't see him.
Oh,
so just ignore
it. Yeah. Until that joint land on me, I'll be on here like
Girl, you should have seen me outside with these spotted lantern flies. Anyway, so far 4 out of the 5 are saying it's not natural. And then the 5th expert says monogamy is beneficial in some circumstances and detrimental in others. Dossie Easton, a psychotherapist and relationship counselor, says that she believes a lot of institutions profit by controlling the population towards monogamy by instilling lots of guilt and shame. I agree with that. At the end of the day, though, Easton says people are going to do what they want to do. She says, I know from experience that many people learn to create the relationship and sexual lifestyles that they desire and find a way to fit themselves into the culture while they're at it. The real conclusion that can be drawn from what all these experts have to say is basically this: monogamy may be socially constructed, but it's okay if that's what makes you comfortable. Conversely, it's also great if you prefer to be non-monogamous or polyamorous. Diversity is good, and we should all be able to love freely.
Yep.
That's
it. Okay.
Unless you're married to Goose and
or Justin.
Can't love anyone else.
Or Justin. can't love anybody else.
Why
there will
would
be
you
no other loving than sharing.
You don't need to. Just saying.
No. I mean, and then like the whole like having more than one spouse, that I think would drive me crazy.
Oh, I know it would drive me crazy.
Okay.
Really?
I don't need nobody. I don't need more people telling me what to do.
Really? We could use another wife, babe.
She got to have a big.
I mean, like like to help with childcare and maybe do the cooking, but
I think we could use another wife. I could find one with a big booty.
She gotta have a nice big booty and want to listen to all my problems.
Remember, she got to be able to perform all her wifely duties. Tyra. Her wifely duties.
Tyra, you wouldn't go for that.
Tyra ain't ready. Tyra ain't having that.
Not at all.
Tyra ain't having that at all.
Nope.
No. I don't know too many married people that would like. I mean, that I know personally, they'll be like, "Oh yeah, sure, go ahead, like my wife," and you know what I mean. Like, yeah.
Well, this conversation, this conversation led to, it kind of leads us into the article that Goose found about Nia Long. And there's really no need for us to read the article, but we can talk about the article. It's actually she appeared on I think it was an Essence magazine podcast. It was some type of podcast.
Yes, girl.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, called Yes Girl.
Okay.
And she was talking about her relationship with, I believe it was Ime Aduka, who used to be an NBA player, and they've been together for 10 years. And I believe they've been married. They've been engaged for 5 of those years. And they actually, they announced their relationship in 2010, and she also had a kid in 2010. Right. And they've been together.
2015. Right.
But I'm saying all this to say that she does not believe in marriage. And she doesn't see the need to be married. And I just wanted to get everybody's opinion on that, as well as the family that's watching with us right now, the Twist family, the 10-7 family, to give us your opinions on that. Is marriage, is it needed? Is it something that needs to be done, or is it just another one of those, I guess, man-made things that we kind of just have geared ourselves to and have latched onto? What y'all think?
I don't think marriage needs to be done. You know what I mean? I don't think it needs to be done. I think it's a choice that two people make. There's benefits to it. There's pros and cons, depending on who you talk to and their marriage experience. But does it necessarily need to be done? No.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think it needs to be done. It's everybody's personal choice.
It's fun as hell, though.
How's it fun? Tell me what's fun.
The wedding.
Oh, the wedding, but that's just one day. Yeah. The wedding is one day. The marriage is a lifetime.
The thing about weddings, is that it gives you opportunity to profess your love in front of everybody, as if the people you invite already don't know how you feel about this person.
Right.
You dig what I'm saying? But it's a physical act. You dig what I'm saying? So they say actions speak louder than words type deal. That now I'm not saying that people that aren't married don't love their wives as much as I love my
partner, because they're not married.
Well, yeah, as much as I love my wife, but that's what it is.
I mean, it's true, because there are plenty of people who are together forever and have a bunch of kids and they never get married. It's
But the thing about it is, go ahead, cuz.
No, I was saying, as far as the Nia Long situation goes, and she didn't feel that marriage is needed, why would she say yes to an engagement? That's the one thing that stood out to me.
I can call her and ask her.
I don't know. I mean, maybe if she watched this, she can answer it. I'm not trying to be smart, but I'm like,
maybe he asked, she accepted, and then they had the conversation.
But obviously she felt this way because this isn't the first time that she's spoken out about it. So obviously she's
never been
She's
so
2012.
Right. So then my thing is, did you have that discussion with him? And maybe she accepted because she didn't want him to feel bad. But my thing is, if you really feel like marriage is not needed, then a proposal is not needed either.
Well, maybe in her,
but it still feels good.
Maybe in her, the way she's thinking, like the engagement is an equivalency to a marriage. Like that's a commitment that when you get engaged to somebody, that's really like the beginning of the commitment in a sense.
Yeah,
because
you say yes when somebody proposes, it's like, okay, yeah, for real, it's me and you from now on. No BS.
But you don't need to be engaged
But you don't need to be engaged.
No, you don't. But maybe for them, for that situation, that's what worked. Like that's all they need right there. Like marriage isn't necessary. You can just agree to be with somebody for the rest of your life.
What I'm saying. That's what it seemed like she's saying. So if that's how she feels, then why even accept the engagement?
Because what I'm saying, maybe the engagement. But what I'm saying is maybe they don't necessarily need to take the next step. The engagement is their marriage.
She said she don't necessarily need to be married. She ain't say nothing about she don't need to be engaged.
Oh my God!
That doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't. I don't even like that.
But when you're engaged, you do get a ring. So now you're wearing a ring, and
But see, that's like promise rings.
Exactly. It might as well be a promise. That's what I'm saying. It might as well be a promise ring.
Well, how we don't know that engagement ring might have turned into a promise ring after they had a conversation.
We don't know. That's what Makija said.
You don't need to be married. Then why do you need a ring? Why do you need that outward expression of what's going on?
She don't need a ring. She bought her a ring.
And that's what I was gonna say. Maybe they didn't have this conversation beforehand, and he went and bought the ring and tried to surprise her, and she accepted it.
Wait, or maybe they had the conversation beforehand, but you know what, babe? I know you don't want to get married, but I still want you to have a ring. Hey, okay. I bought this for you.
Brian Washington said, my wife said it's needed for tax breaks.
Yeah.
From a business standpoint.
Yeah. It does have
but the thing about it is, he's a former NBA player. She's a Hollywood superstar. They probably are incorporated themselves and all kind of stuff like that. Right. So I don't even know if the tax for people like us, tax breaks is cool when you get married.
Right.
Them people that got businesses and write everything off and all that kind of stuff, I don't know if getting married is financial.
Yeah, getting married might be more detrimental than anything when you're in a
have that standard. Because they're in a whole different they're in a whole different tax bracket.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I mean, like I said, they had children, so clearly she wanted to be a mother because she bred with him. So even if it doesn't last forever, which that's not guaranteed for anybody, they're still connected.
I'm about to say
they have children, they're gonna have common grandchildren.
The one thing that I will say is, like legal wise, they got the money for lawyers and contracts and all that kind of stuff. So like if something was to happen to one of them, you dig what I'm saying? What would happen to the belongings and the accounts and investments? So when you get married, marriage automatically handles all of that. You dig what I'm saying? When you're not married, you have to put things in place to protect it.
Right. Like remember that one time we were talking, whatever, I can't remember the show, but it came up about it was like our second show. The guy was married, and then his second wife found out that he had a first wife.
The first wife, right?
At his mother's funeral, but the second wife still didn't know that he was already married, so their marriage wasn't legal. And I said, if something were to happen to him, she wouldn't get anything because she's not legally his wife. Because in the United States, you can have multiple marriages. And Goose said, sure she can. If she decided to stay with him, then they could get some kind of life insurance policy that if something happened to him, then she would be she would be protected. Yes, Tanya, I said bred with him. They created ties that bind. They bred together. They made a family.
So just so people know that episode that Tara was just talking about, you can go catch that episode where we talked about somebody that was married to somebody else and they was married to somebody else. You can go to iHeartRadio, Spotify, Google Podcasts, all that good stuff. That episode is there. You can check that out.
I think the title was Married with Two Wives, right? Justin, like wasn't that the title? Married with Two Wives?
Like
Married to Two Women. That was
Married to Two Women.
Second episode. That was a long time ago, wasn't it?
So some people use marriage to justify mental and physical accomplishments, doing opposite of what they saw growing up. That's another thing.
That's true. Listen,
that's another thing.
Absolutely right. My mother and father separated when I was probably 3 or 4, and so my mother and my grandmother and my aunts raised me. And I knew I wanted to be a wife. I knew I wanted to be a mother. I knew I wanted to be married before I had kids. Like I knew what I did not want. You know what I'm saying? Like I didn't want to struggle raising a kid by myself. So I knew I always wanted to be married and wanted to be a mother. But that was just my own personal thing. I mean, everybody has their own thing. Some marriage is not for some people.
Yeah, I mean, my parents never married. And I don't want to say I necessarily wanted to be a wife. I wasn't really thinking about that. I didn't want to be a single mom either, but I ended up that way for a little while. But I don't know. I guess after seeing other people's relationships and other people's marriages, and as I got older, especially as I became a single mother, I kind of understood the purpose of like marriage and 2 people raising a child together. Then I was like, oh, all right, this might be something, this could be something. But I didn't think about it growing up as a child. I just knew that, my mom was doing it and she did it and we was good. I didn't feel like we was lacking anything or missing anything. So it wasn't like a top priority for me.
Yeah. No, I agree. I mean, I wasn't lacking anything in my childhood, but I remember growing up, like friends of mine with like, you know, from a 2-parent household, and you know how that looked to me as an impressionable kid. And I remember like stuff like father-daughter dances that I never got a chance to go to. I mean, now I've had a son, so there's no father-daughter dance, but like I knew what I didn't want for my future children, and I knew I wanted children. So that was just my personal decision though.
Okay.
Goose, what do you think?
I knew I wanted to be married. Did
you really?
Yeah. I didn't know the who, but I know I wanted to be married.
Well, because you just didn't know.
Jay, Chris, did you know you wanted to be married?
Not necessarily. I mean, there might have been some people in my past where I was like, you know, I can marry them, but you know, it was never for me a necessity. Like it was never the type of thing where like I need this, that. It was never a goal. Let's put it that way. It was never a goal of mine to be married.
Okay.
Yeah, like I knew I wanted to be married, you know, but I didn't go into relationships looking for a wife. You dig what I'm saying?
Okay.
And I think a lot of people do these things. They go into a relationship or they go on a date looking for a husband or a wife. And
you know what I mean? Like I didn't go into relationships looking for a wife. You know, I just went into relationships looking to get to know people and have some fun and things of that nature. And then if it'll evolve into what it evolved into.
Right.
And see, I was watching this matchmaking show, and Justin and I always talk about like the differences, you know, growing up in a, you know, predominantly African-American community. And notice in a lot of other cultures, they raise their sons to look for wives. You know what I mean? They set up arranged marriages. And in the Black culture here in America, our young boys are not raised to look for a wife. It's not even like they're raised to get a job, get an education, or sleep with as many women as you can. But they're not. It's not a part of our culture to teach our young boys to look for a wife. And in a lot of other cultures, they teach their young men.
I think it depends on every household, because I wouldn't say that was the case for Eli.
I would say Eli is probably the outlier, but in the majority of urban areas, young boys are not taught to look for a wife. They're taught to look for everything else but a wife.
But you know why? Because children learn what they live.
Right.
Kids are sponges. They suck up everything around them.
Right.
So the things that they see are positive. You know, I'm not going to say they're going to be good kids, but
because you can always go
have good examples.
A different route than what your parents set an example of.
Right.
But if a majority of the stuff they see, I mean,
but I'm not so much talking about what they see.
Listen. Growing up, my people always said, stop worrying about these girls and start focusing on these books. That's what I was always told. But the books were boring. I'm beyond it. The books were boring compared to the girls. Let's be real.
No, but I'm talking about like a cultural thing, like a cultural norm.
Healthy balance.
She's saying the African American culture as a whole,
especially
in right, Tyra, especially in 2020. Yeah.
I mean, like if you go to other cultures, like you watch these matchmaking shows, like these parents, they come together. That's all they talk about. You get your education, you get a wife. You get this, you get a wife. And that's in a lot of foreign cultures, but mainly like in America and Black America, they're not raised to look for a wife at all. Like sometimes it's all in how to stay out of jail, how to not get pulled over from the cops.
Exactly. We got a whole lot of other stuff to worry about than worrying about getting married.
That's true.
We got to worry about we got to worry about surviving first.
I wish we could start with looking for a wife.
Yeah, but that really is at the bottom, because if you got brown skin, your number one concern is getting back home safe when you leave in the morning.
That is true. That is true. And so maybe that's the difference here with Black culture here. Because like in certain African cultures, they don't play that. You better get you a wife.
Or one or two or three.
Right. And you better, and they teach their young girls how to be wives, how to clean, how to cook.
Your wife, right.
Somebody says,
all right, so y'all ready?
In many cultures, they are raised to be husbands, but their families find their wife while the wives are prepared to take on a husband. That is true.
Yeah.
That is true, but we don't do that here, and maybe it's because of racism that we so focused on surviving that's all we really think about. Because if you dead, you can't have no wife and kids.
That's true. You can't procreate and
right.
Can't get married and all that other stuff. So
yeah.
But at any rate, the point of that is, if you do get married, be monogamous.
If that's what y'all agree on.
If that's what you want to do.
And don't shoot people down in their relationships who choose to do otherwise. Let's try to understand each other. And even if we don't agree, we're still adults. It doesn't mean that we can't be friends or anything like that, or I hate you. It just means that I don't agree with your lifestyle. That's it. But I still love you.
Yep.
Well, there you have it.
Lifestyle that makes you happy.
Rock out. All right.
Don't bother me.
All right, well, I guess that's going to do it for this episode of the 10-7 show. Make sure you go right now. You checking us out on YouTube right now. Hit that subscribe button right now. It's under Goose and Tara. All right, I'm not pointing at Goose and Tara. I'm pointing under them. It's hit the subscribe button, hit the bell. Y'all know when we going live and all that good stuff. The bell with the parentheses, and basically, tell everybody, tell a friend. I hope y'all came, and I hope y'all brought your friends today. We'll be back here at 7:00 next Sunday doing some more conversations about relationship talk, and it's going to be a good time, and we enjoy having y'all comments here because it's all about y'all. We do this to have fun with y'all, so we want to continue having fun with y'all and grow, and we going to make this. I was about to say make it a physical thing. What movie is that from?
I don't know.
Is that from?
Who started calling it Sunday?
Is that from?
I like it. 10-7 Sunday.
Is that from The Wood? Let's make this a physical thing. Is that from The Wood?
I think it is.
I don't even remember.
That's my movie.
I don't know.
That's one of my favorite movies right there. That's one of my favorite movies. So look, Tanya Berry said great show.
Thank you. Thank you,
John Washington said good show. We appreciate y'all. Make sure y'all check us out next week. Make sure you follow 10-7 on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and join the Facebook group the Facebook group, and follow New Twist Radio on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at New Twist Radio. And with that being said,
radio app.
Download the New Twist Radio app from the Google Play Store. Thank you very much. And with that being said, we'll check y'all next week. We out.
Peace. All right. Peace, y'all.